People say Africa is not responding very well to climate adaptation and mitigation. And that's why we're on this show today to talk about the place of climate-friendly agriculture and how we can go about the transition in Africa, especially in Nigeria as a country. My name is Ubong Usoro, and I'm welcoming you to Greenhousing, your #1 climate change program that helps you understand what is happening in the climate sector and how we could make our environments better than when we came to meet it. So we'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we'll go straight into our discussion. This is Greenhousing on Housing TV Africa.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Welcome back to Greenhousing on Housing TV Africa, a program that helps you understand environmental processes and what you could do to help your environment better. Today on the show, I have somebody, her name is Ruby Rose. She's actually done a lot of work in climate-friendly agriculture. I got to know her about 2 years ago when I got in contact with the work she's doing and went for a training that she organized and all of that. So I really know that she has so much passion in agriculture. But I'd like to start on a lighter note. What brought you to Nigeria? She's from the Philippines because lots of people who are in that region will be looking at going to maybe the US, going to North America, other countries are maybe supposedly doing better than Nigeria.
Countries.
No, supposedly doing better than Nigeria. But you came to Nigeria and you've been here for more than 7 years. So what gave you the mindset of wanting to come to Nigeria?
Well, I do get that question a lot, and whenever they ask me why Nigeria, I always answer why not. And so, but of course, going back to the history before I came to Nigeria, I was just invited by the Nigerian ambassador to the Philippines. When his term is about ending in the Philippines, he said that why not come to Nigeria and then, you know, just come around, let's look at what problems we can solve there in Nigeria. So being a natural environmentalist and coming from a background where we understand agroecology and, you know, understanding that coming from a country, Philippines as an agricultural country, I saw that Nigeria has left agriculture and is yet to get back to agriculture to stabilize things. And then, so I was curious. I said, what if we could come and do something and contribute something for the, you know, for the development of the agricultural sector in Nigeria, and so the rest is history.
All right. So let's talk about it. Climate-friendly agriculture. If you look at statistics, if you look at data, about 70% of Nigeria is said to be practicing agriculture. Why is it that we are yet to have food sufficiency? Let me start for somebody who's an expert in the field. You do training. Why don't we have food sufficiency? I even see videos of you going into the north of Nigeria to go do trainings for the women and all of that. So why not food sufficiency till now?
Yes, there's a lot of challenges actually that Nigeria is facing in terms of the farming systems, and one thing for sure, climate has been really affecting the local farmers. In as much as we have a lot of farmers, over 50 million of them, majority of which are women, and just of recent young people are coming up, there's still a lot of gap because number one, I could think of one of the major things. Farmers, especially in the northern area, in arid regions, they're already complaining about their soil. You know, the soil is really much degraded. Based on statistics, 40% of the soils in Nigeria are degraded. In some areas, you will see some soil erosion. You know, these are the effects or the impacts, the environmental shocks of climate change. And also, the water scarcity is also another challenge. There's not much of an irrigated systems in Nigeria, so the farming season is only done during the rainy season, perhaps just once a year. And so what if we could farm the whole year round? Because we eat every day, so why not farm every day, right? And then, of course, I would say that a lot of Nigerian farmers still lacks the knowledge of the technology. So having the training, the tools, and the technology is another gap that we have to, to look into how we could solve this. So I believe that there are still a lot of problems, though. And of course, some policies around it as well, adopting more organic or more natural way of farming that is more sustainable and scalable for the people and the environment. However, these three major things is what I see that is really lacking.
In Nigeria. Okay, so in the process of your work in Nigeria, let's talk about adaptation. And probably we even talk about, some of these things have said, okay, instead of planting yearly, let's do daily planting. And we have to teach people how to adapt, how to have green rooms, green homes, and green farms, and all of that. Irrigation, how to have a process where we could have a yearly, monthly, daily irrigation system. Do you think that from what you've seen with your work, do you think it's possible to be done?
Yes, it's very possible. It's about mindset that you can actually farm anywhere, everywhere, anytime, all the time. It's because when we think of farming, we are like mindset to farm on the season. In as much as season has a lot to do because we have to look at the weather patterns, but there are already urban ways of what you call, when you said greenhousing. So we're bringing the farm into our homes. Like in Japan, they do farm rice in the rooftops, right? So because they don't have the land mass. So the policy of the government mandate them that if you own a building and you have a rooftop, you can actually farm. So they do farm rice at the top of their building, yeah? And at homes, you can actually utilize your empty rooms. Perhaps you can do mushroom farming inside your homes. Mushroom is a very nice, viable business as well. You can also utilize your balconies. You can farm something, perhaps your spices, so that you don't have to buy everything. Or perhaps your wall. You can put something in your walls and farm this thing. So it's very adaptable. It's in small spaces and in larger spaces. So I think it's about the mindset that we can actually do it despite of the limitation of the space. But why not farm in a big way? Nigeria has the resources. It has the labor force. I just mentioned more than 50 million farmers and 200 million population. We can start farming by bringing in the mindset from the kids, from the children, so that we have younger farmers around it, younger, stronger, and even more, what do you call this one? Sustainable farmers, generational farmers. So it's very possible. It's about time that Nigeria embrace that kind of mindset.
So let's talk about climate resilient agriculture. What does it mean? Because some persons may not understand what it means. What does it mean?
Well, in layman's terms, for that our audience will understand it, climate resilience is simply adapting, being able to adapt to the shocks of climate change. We know that climate change, because of the erratic rainfall, unpredictable weather patterns, it's not like before that, when there's going to be rain and there's no rain, right? And then this is the adaptability or the capacity to be able to surpass those, to recover from environmental shocks so that you can sustain food productions. That's just how climate resilience is. You need to be resilient. You need to adapt to the impact of climate change that is detrimental and threatening, is a threat to our food security.
Yeah, from your work in Africa, what can you say are the major challenges that we face in going towards climate resilient agriculture and productivity? What are the major challenges?
Just like I've mentioned, soil degradation is one of the major challenges, because it's the same soil that has been passed on to us. And whether we like it or not, it's the same soil that you're going to pass to the next generation. So we need to take care of that soil. And when you talk about the soil, we're talking of where we are farming, where we are planting. is actually there. So climate change is really affecting it. You know, soil is not able to really hold water very well. There is a very poor water retention, and then soil nutrient viability, because we're bombarding our soils with a lot of chemicals. These chemicals, which are mostly banned already in Europe, we're still using them and being sold here in Nigeria. So the mindset of the farmers is that it's the chemicals is the first solution for them.
You said something very instructive. You said some of these chemicals that we are using in Nigeria is already banned in Europe.
Yes, most of them are already banned in Europe because they are very highly hazardous products, and they contain carcinogenic, carcinogenic ingredients which can cause cancers and all that. Imagine if you're eating vegetables every day but bombarded with chemicals. So you're eating, let's say you're taking 1 gram from one vegetable, tomorrow you take another 1 gram. So over time you'll develop certain diseases, and your body won't be able to function very well because you've been bombarded with all these highly resistant chemicals.
Yeah. So okay. So I like to draw you to organic farming and agroforestry. Please let us know, what does it mean and what is it about?
Okay, well, these are natural ways. These are methods of taking care of our environment while sustaining farming systems. Like when we say organic, that means it's organic to us. It is suitable to us, And when we say organic farming, this is a choice of utilizing natural things and practices that will not harm our environments. Whereas permaculture is like building a farming system where you mimic, you try to create a healthy ecosystem around it. Perhaps integrating things that will look like a little eco-friendly surrounding. Yeah.
So are we practicing organic agriculture in Nigeria? Have you seen that being done?
Well, there are already practitioners in Nigeria that they're already doing that, especially those that are focused on reforestation, agroforestry, organic practices like agroecology. So there are these systems already that they try to create little forests around in building small forests so that there will be better shades and good. There are practices, but I would say it's not as much as should supposed to be, because we need to do more of that because we are being threatened by the climate shocks.
All right, so this is Green Housing on Housing TV Africa, and we're having an exciting discussion with somebody who's been in the field, who left her country 7 years ago. She's been in Nigeria teaching women, helping women understand, not just women, men, and understand how we could farm and be climate resilient as a people, talking about Ruby Rose. The interview will continue after this short break. Don't go nowhere. This is Housing TV Africa.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Green Housing on Housing TV Africa, a program that helps you understand your environment better and helps make sense of all of the things happening in our environment. Today we have an expert, Ruby Rose, who's helping us understand what we can do to be able to practice climate-friendly agriculture. She is the MD and CEO of CHC Agritech Africa and she's actually an agri-tourist. You know, somebody who's interested, a tourist who's interested in agriculture, and that's why she's been doing lots of work in Nigeria. I'd like to come back to you now, Mrs. Ruby, with the question about the place of technology in climate-friendly agriculture. How is technology going to help us to transition to climate-friendly agriculture? But I want to ask two questions. The next question will be, transitioning, is it just for people in the town? When we say climate-friendly agriculture, we get a green room, that costs money, you know, and maybe the poor people in the villages and all of that,
they don't
may not have enough resources to put these things, but they are the actual farmers. They are the farmers who in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon are concerned about the farms.
In fact, they are the ones that are most affected. Yes, and as much as agriculture is our source of food, it is also one of the major sources of this warming of the earth, right? The burning of the farmers when they're doing land preparation, the usage of chemicals a lot. So these are all warming our weather, and this warming has now some negative impact. So as to the question that if it's only the people in the city should be doing this and not them, everybody should do, because in as much as I'm doing organic farming, I'm doing the right way, but if I'm only the one, I won't still be able to do this. So these are all, you know, everybody's affected by it. And why we need to do it from the homes, from the cities, because, you know, usually it's the people in the city that dictates the communities. So these are the people that we see on the media, and it's always showcased. So the people in the communities usually follows what's the trend in the cities. So it's very important to adopt certain technologies. Now, you mentioned about technologies. Technology is what builds the world, you know, because every time, every day, we're meeting some problems. And so technology as an applied science, we need to be implementing things to make things easier. So we have to adapt and open our minds to innovation. Yeah, innovation, and still continue to innovate. Have that thinking that what can I do to make things easier? Perhaps if I can do this for an hour, what should I do to make it in 10 minutes? You know, this is innovation, bringing new ideas to make lives easier, to make lives more comfortable, more sustainable. Yeah.
Okay, so the next should be a place of community engagement in achieving all of these things. Your work primarily has been about engaging communities, engaging leaders, engaging with people. How can this help drive climate-friendly agriculture?
Well, with my work, what we do at CHE Agritech Africa is introduction, and we pioneered actually the use of friendly microorganisms. Because when we talk of technology, we usually think of the hardware technology, perhaps the gadgets, the robotics, the precision farming,
the machines that we see,
the machines. Yes, that's when we think of technology. We think always of the hard thing, the machineries. But there is also what we call biotechnology, and there is what we call microbiome technology. That means micro, cannot be seen by our eyes. So we utilize friendly microbes to go to be deployed in the environment and build the soils, clean the air, treat the waters. Because if we have a better environmental, friendly environment for the fishes, for the animals, for the plants, and for the human beings, you know, the thriving of the plants on all this that we plant will be better. It will be pest-free. It will be more resilient to climate shocks. And it builds our environment, reduce greenhouse gas emission, which will later, the result will be higher yield. And the impact of this will be more profitable for the farmers, and their crops also will be highly exportable because you're going to produce more quality products. You know, most of the products in the country are yet to get to the standards. Like, for instance, our ginger. Nigeria is producing the top three producer of ginger. However, we had some blights, you know, some fungal infections in the southern part of Kaduna. So these are problems that is not seen by the naked eye. So no matter what chemical and no matter what machineries that you want to use, it won't be able to solve, because a biological problem has to be solved by a biological problem. Yes. So that's where our technology comes in.
Okay, and it's been tested, it's been proven that this can actually help and assist.
Yes. One thing also that I look into, I think the farmers deserve to have a type of technology that is easily adaptable. Like, for instance, if we talk of technology, are the farmers ready for robotics? Are they ready for the applications? Most of them don't have phones, don't have gadgets. They even have a barrier of language, understanding, you know. Most of the farmers doesn't really read, right? I mean, what I'm saying to the essence is that we need to bring a technology that will be easily accepted, easy to use for them, and it's also cost efficient. So when you're talking about microbiome technology, it's so easy to use. Just go and deploy the microbes into the soil, mix them in the water, and then it's on their own. They